Case 1.
Diana Lovejoy. In the serene coastal town of Carlsbad, California, life seemed idyllic. Diana Lovejoy, a 45-year-old software technical writer, and her husband, Greg Mulvihill, a 47-year-old computer programmer, appeared to have a picture-perfect life. They married in 2007 and had a son in 2012. However, beneath the surface, their relationship was unraveling. By 2016, they were embroiled in a bitter divorce and custody battle over their young son. Diana accused Greg of abuse, claims he vehemently denied. Financial strain and custody disputes intensified the tension, leading Diana to seek drastic measures. On the night of September 1, 2016, Diana orchestrated a chilling plan to have her estranged husband killed. She purchased a burner phone, which was later used to lure Greg to a secluded trail under the guise of retrieving documents that could aid his custody case. Greg, accompanied by a friend, arrived at the location only to be ambushed by Weldon McDavid Jr., a former Marine and Diana's firearms instructor. McDavid, hidden in the bushes, fired a single shot from an AR-15 rifle, striking Greg below the right armpit. Miraculously, Greg survived the attack. Investigators quickly pieced together the conspiracy. Surveillance footage revealed Diana purchasing the burner phone. DNA evidence linked McDavid to the scene. Cell tower data placed both Diana and McDavid near the trail that night. Further investigation uncovered that Diana had driven McDavid to the location and had planned to pay him $2,000 for the hit. The motive was clear. Diana wanted to eliminate Greg to gain full custody of their son and avoid a substantial financial settlement. In November 2017, Diana Lovejoy and Weldon McDavid Jr. stood trial for conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder. The prosecution presented compelling evidence of their coordinated efforts to kill Greg. Diana's aunt testified that Diana had asked her to find someone to kill Greg, further implicating her in the plot. The defense argued that McDavid acted alone, but the jury found both defendants guilty. In January 2018, Diana Lovejoy was sentenced to 26 years to life in prison. Weldon McDavid Jr. received a 50-year to life sentence. The case shocked the community, revealing the dark lengths to which Diana went to secure her desires. In 2024, Diana appealed for resentencing under California's Penal Code Section 1172, claiming her convictions were based on now invalid theories. The court denied her petition, affirming her original convictions. The Diana Lovejoy case highlights the intricacies of human connections and the drastic measures individuals might resort to when propelled by desperation and a sense of entitlement. As of 2025, Diana remains incarcerated, serving her sentence for the attempted murder of her ex-husband.
Case 2. Miriam Helmeck. In the serene town of Whitewater, Colorado, life seemed tranquil. The community was tight-knit, and the landscape was dotted with ranches and rolling fields. Amidst this calm, Alan Helmeck, a successful real estate businessman, found solace in ballroom dancing after the sudden death of his first wife. In 2005, he met Miriam Giles, a dance instructor who had recently relocated from Florida. Both had experienced profound losses. Miriam had lost her daughter to a drug overdose and her first husband to suicide. Their shared grief brought them together, and within a year, they married. Alan, eager to provide for Miriam, bought her a dance studio and later a horse farm. However, financial strains began to surface, and Alan's son, Alan Jr., grew suspicious of Miriam's intentions. On June 10, 2008, Alan was found shot dead in their home, staged to appear as a burglary gone wrong. Miriam claimed she discovered his body upon returning from errands. However, inconsistencies in the crime scene raised suspicions. Just weeks earlier, Alan had narrowly escaped an attempted car bombing, and Miriam had suggested that Alan's son might be responsible. Furthermore, a threatening card found at the scene, which Miriam claimed was sent by the perpetrator, was traced back to a store where she had purchased it herself. Investigators also uncovered forged checks totaling $40,000 from Alan's account, and surveillance footage showed Miriam buying the threatening card. Additionally, a 20-year-old bullet found on the property matched the caliber of the bullet that killed Alan, suggesting the use of a family heirloom firearm. Prosecutors argued that Miriam's motive was financial gain and the desire to cover up her fraudulent activities. She had forged checks and attempted to secure a $2 million life insurance policy on Alan without his knowledge. Her previous husband's death was also scrutinized, as he had died from a gunshot wound while Miriam was reportedly beside him, raising questions about the circumstances. In December 2009, Miriam Helmick was convicted of first-degree murder, attempted murder for the car fire incident, and multiple counts of forgery. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 78 years for the other charges. Despite maintaining her innocence, Miriam's appeals have been denied, and she remains incarcerated at the Colorado Women's Correctional Facility. Miriam Helmick's situation highlights how personal misfortunes can merge with more sinister agendas. What started as an apparently innocent connection evolved into a deliberate plot for power and financial gain. Her narrative emphasizes the intricacies of human behavior and the extremes to which some individuals will go to hide their genuine motives.
Case 3. Amanda Hovac. In the quiet town of Wapakoneta, Ohio, life seemed idyllic. Amanda Hovac, a 37-year-old mother of 3, appeared to lead a typical suburban life. Married to Timothy Hovac, a U.S. Department of State employee, the couple had relocated multiple times, including a stint in South Africa. Their return to the U.S. in 2020 marked the beginning of a turbulent chapter. Amanda initiated divorce proceedings, and a contentious custody battle ensued over their 3 daughters. Despite court orders, Amanda began denying Timothy visitation rights, escalating tensions within the family. On April 24, 2022, Timothy arrived at Amanda's residence to drop off their children. Dash-cam footage from his vehicle captured the harrowing moments that followed. Amanda, accompanied by her mother, Anita Green, approached Timothy. She instructed the children to enter the house, then ambushed Timothy, injecting him with M99, a potent veterinary tranquilizer. The footage recorded Timothy's distress as he collapsed unresponsive in the driveway. Amanda then confiscated his phone and smartwatch before the recording ceased. Following the murder, Amanda attempted to cover her tracks. She disposed of Timothy's car in Dayton and, with the assistance of Anthony Theodoro, her South African lover, buried his body in a wooded area near her home. Anita Green, aware of the plan, drove them to the burial site. Theodoro had procured the M99 used in the killing and helped conceal the crime. In October 2024, Amanda Hovac was sentenced to 40 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to multiple charges, including distributing a controlled substance resulting in death. She was also ordered to pay over $2 million in restitution. Her mother, Anita Green, received a 10-year sentence for her role as an accessory after the fact. Theodoro was sentenced to 18 years for conspiracy and distribution of a controlled substance resulting in death. As of August 2025, Amanda Hovac remains incarcerated, serving her 40-year sentence. The case has drawn attention to the extremes of a custody dispute and the devastating consequences of premeditated actions. Case 4. Jennifer Lynn Faith. In the peaceful Oak Cliff neighborhood of Dallas, Texas, October 9, 2020 began like any other. Jamie Faith, a 49-year-old technology director at American Airlines, stepped outside with his wife, Jennifer Faith, and their dog for a morning walk. The tranquility of the suburban street was abruptly interrupted when a masked assailant ambushed Jamie, shooting him 7 times before fleeing the scene. Jennifer, the sole witness, claimed she was bound and assaulted during the attack. Her tearful plea for information aired on local television, painting her as a grieving widow seeking justice. Behind the scenes, a far more sinister plot was unfolding. Jennifer Faith had orchestrated the murder by manipulating her high school sweetheart, Darren Ruben Lopez, into believing her husband was abusive. Using fake email accounts, she posed as Jamie and a friend, fabricating tales of physical and sexual abuse. Lopez, a disabled U.S. Army veteran, was persuaded to carry out the killing. On the morning of October 9, he traveled from Tennessee to Dallas, lying in wait until the Faiths emerged for their walk. He then ambushed Jamie, shooting him multiple times before fleeing in a black Nissan Titan pickup truck, identifiable by a distinctive T decal. Jennifer later urged Lopez to remove the sticker to avoid detection. The investigation quickly unraveled the deception. Authorities discovered Jennifer's extensive communications with Lopez, including texts and emails, which detailed the manipulation. Further evidence revealed she had used funds from a GoFundMe campaign set up in the wake of Jamie's death to pay off Lopez's credit cards and purchase gifts for him. In February 2022, Jennifer pleaded guilty to orchestrating the murder-for-hire plot. In exchange for her plea, prosecutors dropped the obstruction charge and recommended a life sentence. On June 21, 2022, Jennifer Faith was sentenced to life in federal prison without the possibility of parole. U.S. District Judge Jane J. Boyle condemned her actions, stating, "You are pure evil," and highlighting the profound betrayal of orchestrating her husband's murder. Additionally, she was ordered to pay $6,500 in restitution to cover Jamie's funeral expenses and a $250,000 fine. As of 2025, Jennifer Faith remains incarcerated, serving her life sentence at a federal facility. Her case stands as a chilling reminder of the depths of manipulation and deceit that can lurk beneath seemingly ordinary lives. The murder of Jamie Faith not only ended a life, but also shattered the trust of a community, leaving behind a legacy of betrayal and heartbreak. The killing of Jamie Faith is a clear illustration of how misleading appearances can be. What appeared to be a tragic random act of violence turned out to be a deliberate and ruthless plot devised by someone who was very close to him. Jennifer Faith's treachery acts as a chilling reminder that the deepest betrayals often come from those we hold dearest.
Case 5. Sheyna Hubers, Highland Heights, Kentucky. A quiet suburban community was known for its tree-lined streets and close-knit atmosphere. In 2012, the town was home to 29-year-old Ryan Poston, a promising attorney with a bright future. He had recently graduated from law school and was beginning to establish his career. At the time, he was dating 21-year-old Shaina Hubers, a psychology student at the University of Kentucky. Their relationship was marked by frequent breakups and reconciliations, often characterized by intense emotions and jealousy. On the evening of October 12, 2012, Ryan was preparing for a date with Audrey Bolte, the reigning Miss Ohio USA. As he was about to leave his Highland Heights condominium, Shaina arrived unexpectedly. An argument ensued, escalating quickly. Shaina retrieved a handgun that Ryan kept on the kitchen table and shot him 6 times. She then called 911, stating, "I just killed my boyfriend." Despite her claim of self-defense, investigators found inconsistencies in her account. For instance, she admitted to shooting Ryan multiple times, even after he had fallen to the ground, saying she did so because she didn't want to watch him die. During her police interrogation, Shaina exhibited unusual behavior. She sang Amazing Grace, danced, and made disjointed statements, such as wondering if anyone would marry her knowing she had killed a boyfriend. She also remarked that Ryan was very vain and that by shooting him in the face, she had given him the nose job he wanted. Her demeanor raised questions about her mental state and the authenticity of her self-defense claim. In April 2015, Shaina was convicted of murder. The prosecution argued that she killed Ryan out of jealousy and obsession, pointing to her frequent communications with him and her reaction to his plans with another woman. The defense contended that she was a victim of domestic abuse and acted in self-defense. However, the jury found her actions unjustified. She was sentenced to 40 years in prison with the possibility of parole after 20 years. In August 2016, Shaina's conviction was overturned due to the revelation that a juror had concealed a felony conviction, violating Kentucky law. A retrial began in August 2018. The defense again argued self-defense, while the prosecution highlighted her obsessive behavior and the lack of evidence supporting her claims of abuse. The jury convicted her of murder once more. On October 18, 2018, she was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 20 years. As of 2025, Shaina Hubers is incarcerated at the Kentucky Correctional Institute for Women in Pewee Valley, Kentucky. She is serving a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 20 years, making her eligible for parole consideration in 2032. The case continues to draw attention due to the complexities of the relationship and the circumstances around Ryan Poston's death. Case 6. Lorie Shaver.
In the serene community of Clermont, Florida, existence seemed perfect. Lorie Shaver, a 41-year-old mother of 4, led a seemingly ordinary life. She worked from home for an insurance company, while her husband, Michael Douglas Shaver, a 36-year-old monorail technician at Walt Disney World, spent his free time racing airplanes with a local flight team. Together, they raised their children on their rural property, embodying the picture of suburban tranquility. However, beneath the surface, tensions simmered. In November 2015, Michael Shaver vanished without a trace. Lorie claimed he had abandoned the family, but suspicions arose when friends and colleagues reported receiving messages from Michael's social media accounts despite no financial activity since his disappearance. In March 2018, during a welfare check, authorities discovered human remains beneath a newly poured concrete slab in the Shavers' backyard. The remains were identified as Michael's, and the cause of death was determined to be a gunshot wound to the back of the head. The investigation revealed that Lorie had been impersonating Michael online, sending messages to his contacts and even managing his social media accounts. In September 2020, Lorie was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and accessory after the fact. During her trial, Lorie testified that her daughter had shot Michael to protect her from an alleged assault. She also accused her ex-boyfriend, Jeremy Townsend, of finishing the killing and disposing of the body. However, Townsend denied any involvement, and Lorie's daughter, who was 7 at the time, later recanted her statement, stating she had been coerced into lying. In September 2024, after a week-long trial, a jury deliberated for about 4 hours before finding Lorie Shaver guilty of second-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. During sentencing, Michael's family expressed their grief and anger, with his brother stating that Lorie had left an immeasurable void in their lives. Lorie appeared unfazed by the sentence, looking straight ahead and nodding as the judge delivered the verdict. The case shocked the community and highlighted the dangers of domestic violence and the lengths to which individuals might go to conceal their crimes. Lorie's actions left her children without a father and her family grappling with the betrayal of someone they trusted. As of 2025, Lorie Shaver remains incarcerated, serving her life sentence. The killing of Michael Shaver is a stark indication that even in the most peaceful environments, shadows can conceal sinister realities. Lorie Shaver's shift from a caring wife and mother to a guilty murderer highlights the intricacies of human nature and the tragic outcomes of betrayal and aggression. Case 7. Monica Cementili. In the serene Woodland Hills neighborhood of Los Angeles, the Cementili family appeared to lead an idyllic life. Fabio Cementili, a renowned hairstylist and vice president at Coty Inc., was celebrated for his work with A-list clients like Jennifer Lopez and Jackie Chan. His wife, Monica, and their 2 daughters were fixtures in the community. However, on January 23, 2017, this tranquility was violently disrupted when Fabio was found murdered in his backyard. Fabio, 49, was fatally stabbed multiple times while seated on his patio. The assailant, Robert Louis Baker, a former adult film actor and convicted sex offender, fled the scene in Fabio's Porsche, which was later abandoned. A third accomplice, Christopher Austin, assisted by restraining Fabio during the attack. Investigators initially suspected a botched robbery, but evidence soon pointed to a meticulously planned murder orchestrated by Monica Cementili. Monica, 53, had been engaged in a secret affair with Baker. Prosecutors revealed that she conspired with him to murder her husband and collect a $1.6 million life insurance policy. Evidence indicated that Monica left the back door of their home unlocked for the intruders and was likely monitoring the scene remotely via her home's surveillance system. Despite her claims of innocence, the jury found her guilty of first-degree murder with special circumstances of financial gain and lying in wait, as well as conspiracy to commit murder. In April 2025, after a 10-week trial, Monica was convicted. On June 23, 2025, she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Judge Ronald Cohen described her as the mastermind of the conspiracy, emphasizing her calculated role in the murder. Her co-conspirators, Baker and Austin, had already been sentenced to life without parole and 16 years to life, respectively. The murder has left an indelible mark on the Cementili family. Fabio's sisters and children expressed profound grief and betrayal. Despite Monica's conviction, her family maintains her innocence and plans to pursue further legal avenues. Fabio's legacy endures through his contributions to the beauty industry and the memories cherished by those who knew him. This case serves as a chilling reminder of how greed and betrayal can shatter lives even in the most seemingly perfect settings.
Just a quick pause to make something clear. The details in this video are based on public records, media sources, and online reports, and are considered alleged unless proven in a court of law. Now, massive thanks to all our returning viewers. Your support means everything. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's a simple way to help the channel grow and keeps us motivated to bring you even more stories. With that out of the way, let's dive back in.
Case 8. Ashley Benefield.
In the serene suburbs of Lakewood Ranch, Florida, the Benefield family appeared to lead a picture-perfect life. Ashley Benefield, a former professional ballerina, and her husband, Doug Benefield, a 58-year-old Navy veteran and technology consultant, married in 2016 after a whirlwind romance. Despite their 30-year age difference, they founded the American National Ballet together, symbolizing their shared dreams. However, beneath the surface, tensions brewed, leading to a tragic event that would forever alter their lives. On September 27, 2020, Ashley and Doug were at Ashley's mother's home, preparing to move to Maryland. An argument escalated, and Ashley claimed Doug became violent, striking her and preventing her from leaving. In fear for her life, she retrieved a firearm and shot Doug twice. He succumbed to his injuries an hour later at a nearby hospital. Ashley ran to a neighbor's house where 911 was called. She was arrested shortly after and charged with second-degree murder. Ashley pleaded not guilty, asserting she acted in self-defense. Her defense painted Doug as an abusive, controlling figure, citing past incidents and her attempts to seek legal protection. Prosecutors, however, argued that Ashley fabricated abuse allegations to gain sole custody of their daughter, Emerson. They contended that the evidence contradicted her self-defense claim, suggesting a premeditated act. In July 2024, after a 6-day trial, the jury convicted Ashley of manslaughter with a firearm, a lesser charge than the original second-degree murder accusation. The following December, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison with 10 years of probation. The judge acknowledged the possibility of duress, but maintained the sentence, citing the severity of the crime.
As of August 2025, Ashley Benefield remains incarcerated at the Florida Women's Reception Center in Ocala. She continues to appeal her conviction, citing alleged juror misconduct and errors during the trial. In January 2025, a judge denied her request for bond during the appeals process, ruling that she must remain in custody. Her legal team is actively pursuing avenues to overturn the conviction, but as of now, she serves her sentence, reflecting on a life that once danced with grace, but now stands still behind prison bars.